Here.
Wonder why I'm not saying something.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the first RDC meeting of 2020 this Monday night, January 13th, 6:30 p.m. We will start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Dr. Taylor.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, the first item on the agenda is the swearing in. We have a couple of new commissioners, and I don't see Matt. Joe, would you mind finding him, please? Just a little background briefing. We do have a couple new members joining and agreed to join us this evening is Corey Kuntz and Dr. Millman of the School Corporation. So Mayor Matt will swear them in, and we will do roll call and proceed.
Are we just standing here, or what would you like?
Yeah, you can just stand there and raise your hand.
All right.
Then repeat after me. I state your name.
I,
John
Corey
Nolan.
Kuntz,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
I will support the
Constitution of the United States,
and the state of Indiana,
State of Indiana,
and that I will faithfully, honestly, and impartially
faithfully, honestly, and impartially
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of Commissioner of the Lebanon Redevelopment Commission
of the Lebanon Redevelopment Commission
according to the law
according to the law.
and to the best of my ability.
best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, guys. Thank you. Let the roll show that all are in attendance. The next item we have are new officers. We need a new president, vice president, and secretary. And I will start the motions with secretary. I would like to make motion for Dr. Millman to be secretary. Any discussions? Millman, are you good with that? Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Thank you.
Aye. Okay.
I second the motion.
Very good. Thank you, Dr. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Bill, motion passes. And we will do vice president next. I will make the motion that Corey Kuntz be vice president. Any discussions? I will hear a second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Let's pick on the new people night.
Motion passes. And finally, I will entertain a motion for president.
I'll make a motion that Caleb Edwards will be president, please.
I'll second.
Any discussions? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, motion passes. Thank you, gentlemen. All right, seeing no business on the agenda, we will move to new business. The first item on new business is the approval minutes. Oh, I'm sorry, I skipped the approval of minutes. Have the commissioners all received the meeting minutes from the December meeting? Any discussions?
There was only you and I at the last meeting on the board. So I'll make a motion that we go ahead and approve the minutes for you and I to approve the
Okay.
last meeting.
Okay. I will second that, and that's a vote as well, I would believe. Okay, all in favor? Aye. Passes. A little unique. All right, now, skipping on, seeing no old business, there is new business of D.S. Smith reimbursement agreement, and Rachel is here to provide some more information. Rachel, could you state your last name, please?
Yes. Good evening, Commissioners. Rachel Huser here with the Boone EDC, or Boone County Economic Development Corporation, here to just give an update. So what this is a grant from the IDGF grant. Essentially, it was for the extension of the rail to the D.S. Smith property. This has been approved, and what is before you right now is the red line version specifically for the dates, as well as the grantee change for your approval. The reason for this are really just administrative changes with timing and things like that. They wanted to make sure that all of the timing is correct and approved by you all, as well as then with the grantee. This is just from the pass-through, which is explicitly explained in the lease for DS Smith that they incurred the charges, and this is specifically explaining it in the contract.
Okay. Commissioners, do you have any questions, comments? And again, this is the state-provided fund. We're literally just an avenue for this program. Okay.
Precisely.
Any further comments, questions?
Pass through.
And, okay. This item is open for public comment. We will entertain any additional public discussion. Please state your name and your location in 3 minutes. Okay. Seeing none, we will close public comment opportunity. Commissioners, I will entertain a motion to pass this along.
It'd be to approve.
To approve the reimbursement agreement. The
I'll make
DS
a motion, we approve item A, the DS Smith reimbursement agreement.
I'll second that. Any further discussions? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion passes. Thank you, Rachel. Next item is the historic facade grant review, 125 and 125 North West Street and 215 West Washington Street. Derek.
That's right. Good evening, Commissioners. Dr. Milliman, welcome. Corey, welcome back.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so tonight in front of you is we have two applications for RDC grant funds. They're both related to the same project, separate parcels, same building owner. We'll start with 125 Northwest Street. The COA, Certificate of Appropriateness for this site, is to enclose the portico and install windows that match existing fenestration of existing building. Remove the door north of the overhead door and replace with a window matching existing window to adjacent doorway, and replace current overhead door with a folding carriage style door. And I have pictures to which I forwarded to the commission, but to illustrate what we're talking about here. So here are the current conditions of 125 Northwest Street. I affectionately know it as the frame shop. There's a frame shop that operated there once upon a time. Existing conditions, and here are the proposed view of enclosing that portico there that sticks out towards the west. You can see that the applicant is proposing to use the exact same windows that are found throughout the rest of the building, and they are even going to repurpose the brick that's going to be part of the demo to make things work on this particular enclosure. So it'll be very respectful to the nature of the building. And sorry for the dumpster in the way of the overhead door there, but that's the overhead door that's being proposed to be replaced, and the walk-through door in between the two windows. So this is existing conditions, and this is the proposed view. You can see a nice, more appropriate, age-appropriate door replacing the overhead door, and you can see the window that's been replaced there as well, along with a different sort of view from the portico enclosure there. The applicant did provide two estimates as required by the grant resolution. The low estimate for the doors, windows, exterior finish, and the portico enclosure, is $62,000. And the high bid came in at $65,688, putting this project in Category 8 with the estimated cost of improvements between $50,001 and $75,000. In this category, the owner's share is $26,000, with the maximum grant being $49,000. Staff recommendation would be, after the $26,000 contribution from the owner, a $36,000 RDC grant award. happy to answer any questions about the project and what was proposed. And the building owners are here to answer any questions that you have for them about their business or anything else that you'd like to talk to them about.
What's the business going to be?
I'll let them answer that, if that's okay.
Yes. It's fine.
They're the pros on that one, so. Do you want to roll right into the other one, or you want to handle this one
I don't
first?
care. If they're tied together, you might as well.
They're tied together. So
Okay.
let me go through the other one first,
Okay.
and then they can come up and kind of speak to what's going on. The other one, 215 West Washington Street, Modern Cleaners. This is a kind of a partial application. They intend to do more work to the building, but this is just to get things going so that they can, make it fit their needs for the time being. We're going to work on an HPC application that really brings it into a full facade renovation, but this is just kind of their immediate needs. So the certificate of appropriateness was issued for 215 West Washington Street for replacement of roofing membrane with a thermoplastic polyfin finish, and the applicant is aware that those regulations have changed in the December meeting, that it is a 30% RDC share and a 70% owner share on any roofing work. Replacement of flashing as part of the roof membrane, and removal of the inappropriate drive-through awning on the building front, which will be the big change immediately on that building. I'll show you the current pictures. This is the building awning that was added sometime over the history of it being used as a cleaners for their drive-through and to shelter their patrons coming into the store to be out of the weather if it was raining or snowing or something like that. So that is not a historic element of that building. Another view showing the awning, and honestly, these are all pictures of the awning that will be removed. Roofing pictures I didn't feel would be beneficial to the conversation tonight, but then this is from the south looking to the north, so that awning will be removed. Estimates for this project, specific to roofing. Two estimates, one from M&M Roofing. The low bid was $25,200. The high bid was Cruise Roofing at $25,800, so very comparable. As I mentioned, roof applications are eligible for a max amount of 30% as of the December RDC meeting. Staff recommends a RDC grant award of $7,560, which would be 30%, and the owner's responsibility for $17,640. The awning demo, pretty straightforward. The low bid was $3,400. They actually received 3 bids for this project. Middle bid was $4,287, and high bid was $4,500. This project for the awning puts it in category 1, which is $0 to $10,000, owner share being 0, and the maximum grant being $10,000. Staff recommendation would be to award a grant of $3,400 for the awning removal. And also what happened in the December meeting is these applications compound upon each other. So the next application that comes through for the West Washington Street project for some window replacement and restoration will compound on top of what we're asking for here tonight. So it will put them into a different category, and will also require them to possibly have a little bit more owner share involved with that. But we'll calculate that all when we come back to you next time around.
Just as a refresher for me, so we didn't limit the number of times a specific owner or property can come to the RDC, either by year or number of years in a row?
We somewhat, Corey. We did. It wasn't really written down in the resolution on how to handle that. An applicant, a building. I'm sorry, whether the ownership changes hands or not, the building is what's eligible for the grant. So maximum grant of $200,000 for the building. So if they come in tonight at category 1, and their next project bumps them up to category 6, you'll never go back and start over at category 1. You'll just keep building until you get to that maximum amount. When the maximum project reaches $200,000, you know, we shut it off for that building.
Okay, perfect, thank
Yep.
you.
Any other questions for staff, or are you ready for the applicant?
I think we're ready for the applicant.
Okay.
Good evening, Commissioners. I'm Jay Schomburg. This is my son, J.D. or Jonathan. Our company is called Online Resources Incorporated, started in 1991, dealing with technologies related to manufacturing. Excuse me, I've been having some allergy problems. I might have to defer, but we started out in software for manufacturing and got involved in 3D printing. Still do that to a very limited extent, but the majority of the business now in 3D scanning. Laser scanning to create a 3D computer model of any part, be it a bridge or a building or an aircraft or a piece of jewelry. So we have a number of pieces of equipment. So we're more in the hardware end of things now. We both sell the equipment and we do service work for individuals who need work done. The business is transitioning. My wife and I started it, and JD came in about 5 years ago. We are 2 years into a 10-year earn-out period, so he's a 20% stakeholder in the building as of December of 2019.
The business.
Or the business, not the building. My wife and I are owners of the building.
How many employees did you say you had?
We have 5 employees full-time right now. We have a high school student that's an intern on, what's the name of the program?
Is it through the Lebanon program?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we often have other interns, college and high school, but 5 full-time employees. That will need to increase since he's come on, sales have more than doubled, so we will need more help. Did you want to say anything?
Sure. Yeah, I'll add to that. We've also started automation. So we have a partnership with some other companies where we have a custom software, and that's our biggest growth area that we see bringing on staff and other things. Those are jobs that range from about starting at 60 to upwards of 225 for varying roles. Yeah, 60,000 to 225,000. And we see that increasing. Not only do we see the need for us, but we're also encouraging our partners to actually come and join us in these buildings so that we can grow the network there. I think that's pretty much it for...
So do you guys have regular customers visiting, or is it more business-to-business type work, I guess?
The majority of it is business to business. Once we secure them as a customer, they might send a couple people in for training. Most of the time we visit them, but occasionally they'll come to us.
So we talked about what's the cleaner's address? What is the cleaner's address?
215 West
Okay.
Washington.
So for the 215 West Washington, the fenestration redo that we're looking at later on, all of that is hopefully to encourage our robotics lab and R&D section to be forefront. We have some technologies that we're hoping to actually have a robot interact with people. So we are encouraging pedestrian use to actually interact with that space and draw some of the square crowd out. So we do have some visions that, my background is actually city planning, so kind of an odd transition, I know, but there's a long story there. And so one of my things is working on city growth in a healthy way. And I think I agree with all of the city initiatives that are going on here in Lebanon, and that's why we've decided to actually plant some roots here in town instead of just renting in some of the local buildings.
So where's your operation currently located?
Yeah, we're currently in the Brewmaster warehouse right next to the Subaru plant, or not
Oh,
plant,
okay.
but logistics facility.
Okay,
We've been there for
14 years, yeah.
oh, okay, okay.
What are your plans on top of, are there any plans on top of these projects specifically to add to the features of the exterior? So more curb appeal. I noticed some of these parking lots are pretty rough, and maybe some of the landscaping could use a little TLC as well.
Sure. So, like I said, my degree is landscape architecture and city planning.
Okay.
So, yes.
Yes, okay, okay.
Part of the reason of moving is so that we have some control over that
Sure.
to increase the aesthetics of the building. We decided to, when we took on this venture, the discussions between all of us was if we do this, we want to do it right.
So this is going to be office space, or is it going to be light, just light manufacturing of some
Yeah.
kind?
So no manufacturing. We will have some, what we call warehouse, but it's just storage,
Okay.
where we place some of most of our projects that do come in-house from our engineering side of the company are going to fit on a pallet. So we do have just a small area of pallet racking systems. And then most of it will be office space. And then we also envision we're planning a robotics lab as well as a scanning lab. And one of those labs we also see as being a place to invite other businesses for different events.
We're in 4,000 square feet now, and it's not laid out optimally for us, and this will give us 6,000
Okay.
room to grow.
Oh, okay.
Any other questions or comments, commissioners? Okay, thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
At this time, I think it's going to be best to break this down into three. Or do we want to keep each address? Well, 125 has two separate ones, and 125 is, if I remember right.
Mr. President,
Yeah, I think breaking it down into, ultimately three
grants.
motions, but yeah, 215 West Washington has two motions, and 125 will have one motion.
Correct.
So would you run over those totals, please, again?
Sure.
for me, Derek?
I'll start with 125 Northwest Street. Sorry, let me get back to my page. Low bid was $62,000, high bid $65,000. The grant would be based off of the low bid of $62,000. Owner share in that category is $26,000, so the RDC would grant $36,000 to satisfy the balance of the low estimate.
Okay. And for address 215, please?
Well, do you want to do that one while
You
it's
want to do
up?
that one first? Okay, sorry.
Then we can use his numbers and cheat.
Sure.
Are you
Okay.
good with
If
that?
I could have the total, that might give me a better idea
Oh,
what the
okay.
total of all three, I mean, they're basically going to the same project, if
Right.
I understand?
Yeah, same.
So if I could have the total, I appreciate it, Corey, but if I can get the totals, then that would help me better understand.
Absolutely.
Yep. 215. 215 West Washington Street, for the roofing project, low estimate was $25,200, high estimate was $25,800. With the new 3070 program, the RDC grant would be $7,560, and the owner's responsibility is $17,640 for the roofing project. For the awning removal, low bid $3,400, high bid $4,500. That one is in the category where the RDC would grant $3,400.
So I have 46,920 total. So we can do them separately, but that kind of gives
Sure.
me a better idea of what we're allocating out of our dollars.
What's our allocation for the facade plan, or program?
250 per year.
250 per
Per
year?
year.
Calendar year
On a
basis,
calendar year
correct? Yeah.
basis.
We got into that last year.
Yes. And I don't believe we had any rollover from last year, did we, Tanya? Do you recall?
I thought we went over one.
Actually, we did go a little over.
We split one that was kind of, Derek, you can help on that.
You dipped into the reserves to satisfy the last application in 2019, so.
But that was coming off, help me, remind me, that was coming off this year's 250.
I don't know that we talked about that. I think,
That's not going to affect tonight's decision one
No.
way or another. Can we have a summary of that at the next meeting, at the next
Please.
grant application?
Thank you.
yeah, sure, I'll go back and watch that meeting, but
Yeah.
I don't recall that that was
It's in the
discussed.
minutes, so I'll send those out. We should have them in the last.
I just know we went over, that's fine, had some discussion, but 250 is what I
Right.
remember. I don't recall if we said that's coming out of this year's, or if we just said, because then at some point too, Mr. President, or we need a kind of a statement of where we're at with our budget for this coming year.
Absolutely.
So that would help a little bit.
Let's bring that together between Derek and Tanya for the next meeting, if we could, please.
We can do that.
Yeah, I'm fine, thank you.
Okay. Okay, I will, let's start with 125 North West Street. I will entertain a motion to grant $36,000 to enclose the patio portico and the replacement over the overhead door.
I move we allocate $36,000 as an award to 125 Northwest Street, per staff recommendation.
You just made the motion.
I'll second that motion.
Any further discussions?
Estimated completion time?
We'd like to start as soon as possible. We're waiting on the approval from the state plans. May, we hope May, but it's dependent upon when we get a thumbs up from the state.
Worst case scenario this summer?
Any commercial project takes a state building permit when you manipulate a building. So the state issues their building permit, and then we issue the local permits and do our inspections. And sometimes the state can hold up those issuances for a little while, depending how busy they are.
Thank you, Mr. President.
I've had a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Congratulations on that one. I will entertain a motion to grant $7,560 for the roof replacement, roofing membrane, if I can spit it out here.
Easy for you to say.
Replacement of roofing membrane at 215 West Washington. I will make the motion to grant $7,560 for 215 West Washington Street roof work.
Second.
Any further discussions? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. And finally, for the awning removal at 215 West Washington Street, I will make the motion that we grant $3,400 for 215 West Washington. Awning
Second.
removal. Second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Congratulations, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you, Derek. Next item is the Heart of Lebanon request for funding. Joe, we think we can make this in a few minutes? Maybe?
I think so.
Okay. Hi.
Hi.
Missy Kurulik. This is a discussion for the Heart of Lebanon's annual budget and their request from the RDC. And Missy Kurulik is here from the Heart of Lebanon to present their request.
I'll try to find the right plug in there. I think that is ready to go. There we go. Thank you for the opportunity to stand before you tonight. My name is Missy Kurulik. I am the new Executive Director of the Heart of Lebanon. I'm a downtown neighbor of 17 years, a former downtown business owner. I served on the prior revitalization groups as well as a longtime Historical Society board member. I'm a former real estate agent, and most of all, I'm extremely passionate about the success of our downtown. I wanted to go through some highlights for 2019.
First of all is the Lebanon City Market. We hosted 17 markets on Tuesday evenings. We utilized the downtown trail on Main Street for the markets, and during the event, we provided a variety of visual arts. Next is Christmas in July. It was a promotion to increase the traffic down to downtown businesses and a chance to put $3,000 in the pockets of our downtown businesses. We also participated in the 4th of July parade, where we won the grand prize designation. Next was downtown construction. We continued our hashtag Embrace the Orange initiative to help businesses in the construction area. And we also continue to post daily construction updates to Facebook. Oktoberfest, it was the only event that we charge admission to. All the other events are free to the public, making it one of our fundraisers. One of our vendors at our 2019 Oktoberfest was Patrick Clues with Clues Brews, and I'd like him just to come up and say a couple words.
Hi, I'm the founder of Clues Brews. So before Oktoberfest, we were actually part of the large development going real close to this location. So me and my partners came to Oktoberfest because of the excitement and all the support we gained at that event. We actually quickly adapted our plans and changed to actually focus our attention and open in the immediate square of Lebanon. So we wanted to share that piece. The heart of Lebanon in that event is exactly why our plans changed. So we are very close to our formal announcement of that location, and just wanted to come share that with you guys today. So.
Thank you, Patrick.
Next was our MISCHIEF on Meridian. We had record attendance at this event, even though it was moved to our rain date. So that was pretty exciting. It's, again, a free community event, and we partner with the Parks Department and Public Safety for that event. Next is Small Business Saturday. We were able to offer free appetizers at the downtown restaurants. For that event, we were able to engage nine downtown businesses with that promotion. And then also we did the Christmas cash giveaway, which engaged 13 downtown businesses where we had a potential of putting $3,000 in the pockets of our downtown businesses. It's a promotion that they get very excited about and are really excited to participate. So that's a good one. Next is Christmas on the Square. This is a collaboration with the Parks Department and 7 community groups. We had the largest attendance to date this year, and I have no doubt that part of it had to do with our new Christmas tree downtown and the lighting of that new Christmas tree. I wanted to take this opportunity to thank you for your partnership for last year. With your donation of $25,000 last year, our fundraising efforts netted $63,500. So thank you for your part in what we were able to do last year. So new in 2020. In 2019, the Heart of Lebanon organization really took a step back, and it was our year of reorganization. We enlisted the help of Okra to really sit down and go over that with us, and what was our next step going to be. And they said, without a doubt, you need an executive director. It's very hard to run these types of Main Street organizations with a volunteer crew. You get burnout, you get large turnover. The executive director is the way to go. So we took their advice and started working towards that. And the board also felt that it was really important to turn our finances over to a CPA. So we began work on that, and we selected Corey McConnell, and we're currently transitioning our accounts over to that. For 2020, we really want to promote the downtown. We want to increase our events and promotions to 1 community engagement per month. Thus, we need to increase our event and promotion budget to $41,000. Through these events, we want to activate our outdoor areas. You created beautiful outdoor areas for our downtown, and we really want to be able to utilize those. We want to engage businesses and building owners, and we want to utilize the Indiana Main Street organization as well as the National Main Street organizations to really propel us forward and use those to the fullest potential that we can. And we also want to continue to recruit more board members and volunteers. Last quarter, we were able to add 4 new board members, so that was really exciting for us. So that's another focus that we're going to continue to have. We're tonight asking for the RDC to contribute $35,000 to our $87,048 budget for this year. According to Main Street data, the optimal funding strategy for Main Street programs is as following: 30% from your city, 30% from downtown businesses and owners, 30% from other sources, and 10% from fundraising events. So what we're doing tonight is we're asking the RDC to fund 40% of our budget to alleviate that 10% from our downtown businesses and owners, so they can continue to progress and continue to see the value in the heart of Lebanon and contribute. Therefore, we are asking the RDC to partner with the Heart of Lebanon with $35,000 to support your multi-million-dollar investment that you made in the downtown. Why is this important? I have Rachel here from the EDC to explain a little bit about that.
Rachel Huser, Economic Development Manager of the Boone EDC. Just really wanted to take a moment and explain why we support the Heart of Lebanon and why we feel it is so important for our job. Traditional economic development really focuses on business attraction. However, over the past decade, we've really moved away from that, and that is becoming extremely evident in the leads that we are seeing. By what I'm meaning by moving away from that, not anymore are we just focusing on business attraction, but we're also focusing on workforce development. We're working on small business development and advocacy, as well as then, at the end of the day, workforce initiatives. With unemployment as it is, we really want to create a workforce that is sustainable for the businesses that we are attracting. All of these comes back to the quality of place and placemaking initiatives, which the Heart of Lebanon really spearheads and facilitates in the downtown Lebanon and city of Lebanon opportunities. Because of that, really any lead that we receive anymore, specifically the larger RFIs, request what are the downtown initiatives? How does your downtown look? What is the placemaking? What are local events that our workforce, if they're moving to the area, would want to participate in? How does that create a workforce that would want to live, work, and play here? So because of that, this is just us showing that this is a huge part of our organization in the sense of we utilize the Heart of Lebanon and the events that it is in a lot of our marketing opportunities for the city of Lebanon and the county as a whole, which at the end of the day helps with our tax base. Thank you.
So thank you again for allowing us to come before you tonight and ask for some funding that can really help us in 2020.
Thank you, Missy. So one of my first questions is going to be, do you guys have the 2019 actuals listed out similar to where you have the 2020 budget available here? Do you have those numbers available?
I can speak to that. They are currently in your inboxes at the moment. Missy was working to finalize those on Sunday. I did not send those to you today, and that's my fault. Please don't hold Missy accountable for that. But currently, they are in your email inboxes. They are broken down by Embrace the Orange, Mischief on Meridian, Oktoberfest, Small Business Saturday, Christmas on the Square, our Lebanon City Market, Christmas in July, admin operations, and renovations that we made to the space, improving that space that the Heart of Lebanon resides in, for a total of $46,347.57. Again, this is all broken down in your email inboxes at the moment. So that's
And I
my
do-
apologies for doing that.
I can put it up here too, if I need to.
Or she can put it on the overhead if you need to see it.
That'd be great, if you could, please.
It was kind of my cheat sheet, so it's got some more numbers on it, but.
The knob at the top will zoom out.
Oh, I'm going the wrong way. There we go.
Did you say you netted 64 grand or 63.5 last year?
Yes, that's what we brought in with fundraising.
Okay,
Yes.
so in theory, it's a non-for-profit, but the difference was it's just shy of 20 grand.
Huh? I'm
The
sorry.
difference was just shy of just 20 grand, or that was your profit margin technically? The 63.4, the 63.5?
The 63.5, yes, is what we brought in and we spent.
46, right?
Yes.
46.9.
$46,822.57.
Okay.
Yes. So we currently have a balance of $53,878.37. That means we have a 6 months reserve in our account for our non-for-profit.
Okay. What's been the challenge with getting the downtown businesses to contribute 10% or anything?
The challenge is engaging them. We've had revitalization groups in the past, so there's a lot of wait and see. Well, let's just wait and see if this is going to help the downtown. So some naysayers, we have about 50-50, 50
Okay.
businesses that are 50% of the businesses are on board, 50% of the businesses are like keeping us at an arm's length. The problem is with the volunteer organization, there isn't somebody in place to really take care of those businesses, listen to their needs. And so hopefully with my position as the executive director, I can start doing that. I can start creating relationships. I can start asking the business owners what they need and giving them a voice in our organization. With our new board members that just came on board, they are downtown, they are affiliated with the downtown. So that's really exciting for us.
Okay. Other comments, commissioners?
How many board members are there right now?
There are currently, we just had some go on and some go off, so we have our 4 executive and
I think there are 8.
8. I didn't bring that
Okay.
list with me. I can name them if that,
that's fine.
that helps.
That's okay. I guess where I'm having a little bit of a trouble with the 35K, to be quite frank, Missy, is because I kind of feel like we have helped in the past several years, especially with the construction activity going on. That's all but done.
Right.
I realize that. We do a lot of this to try to help the businesses, but at this point, I'm starting to wonder if the businesses are not putting enough skin in the game. I know they do put a lot of volunteer hours into it, and the ones that are in it for the good, right? So, but I'm also recognizing you guys have a 6-month reserve, which is healthy business practices. Up until this year, as you've noted, it was a volunteer organization and not necessarily a staffed. I'm really struggling with that 35. Personally, I'm closer to the 20, even maybe $25,000.
We are
consideration.
increasing our promotions and our events this year. We're switching from six events to 12. So that's why we have the increased funding, increased promotions. So the money that we're asking for will go towards events and promotions.
Yeah.
And it does not cover it all, what we're asking you for.
To clarify,
Go ahead.
the budget I saw, the one we sent, only had 6 events for a total of $25,000.
Events and promotions.
Okay, so I concur with Caleb. I struggle a little bit with, one, I think an executive director is a great move. So I applaud that because I do think that leadership leads to getting things done. But I also struggle with the poor cliche of skin in the game. The events, this year's Christmas was one of the best in my 26 years here in Lebanon. The appearance of downtown, it looked what I had envisioned when we started on this mission years ago. I was thoroughly impressed. How much Heart of Lebanon had in that, how much the city, how much the community. I just think it looked great. I worry about retention. We seem to have some issue retaining businesses on the square. And not all our businesses are retail. 2 banks, dance academy, lawyers. So the events, I concur. I can kind of support that. But my calculation came to about $25,000 on those events and promotions. And that's just something that we got. So if I'm off on that, please correct me. But I struggle with 53. That's to be complimented for a non-for-profit. That's a pretty good amount of money. I, though, tend to agree that I'm comfortable with helping fund events. You know, we moved the go-kart race to the park, which I think was a good move. That used to be one of the big expenses that we had. And clearly we made money on the August Fest. We probably lost some money on the others. So I can see RDC helping to offset on some of the loss, but I think that we have to look at the total picture.
I have one more
I'm not
slide
doing
to
a good
show
job.
you, if you would allow me to
could
show that slide.
Go ahead real quick, if you don't mind.
So if I could just explain a little bit about the events and promotions. So we're going to continue with our city market, our Christmas event, Oktoberfest, Mischief on Meridian, the Shop Small initiative, but we were planning with this money to do a Valentine's Day promotion that would include like a cookie walk, St. Patrick's where you hide a gold coin and you have a scavenger hunt downtown. We're trying to bring people downtown. We're trying to give them that quality of life. An Earth Day celebration, a Cinco de Mayo taco walk, summer nights where we can utilize the downtown for downtown in the evenings for downtown under the lights. Things that would fit niches like vinyl night where we would have a record player and people would come bring their favorite records. A way to create community in our downtown. That's what we're looking for. Yoga under the lights. Different things like that can bring these smaller communities together and they can gather in our downtown area. History in the Heart, where we can celebrate the history of our downtown, utilizing tours and photos where we can really bring back that nostalgia that people have with our downtown business or buildings. And then finally, the promotion of the downtown is where we care. It's where you can come and we're going to know your name and we're going to care about that you're in our business and we're going to care about you, unlike if you go to a large retail. So just creating that community of downtown. So that's kind of what our ideas are for the 2020 events and promotions that you saw in the budget.
All right, thank you, Missy. We are running out of time for our meeting, and I think this is a pretty sizable discussion. Mike, would you like to?
I just want to make a comment that, I owned the business 28 years, was down there since 1982, and some folks forget how challenging it is to be a small business person on the downtown square. And this was back in the 80s, we had probably 5 times as many businesses down there than we do now. So I would think that it's only 10 grand difference. I would say if she needs 35,000 to get the mission accomplished, she should get the 35,000. It's pocket change when it comes to doing this type of work to keep these folks motivated, because it takes an extreme amount of effort to get somebody to come up there and do anything. So I just want to put my 2 cents in there that I think you should
grant 35. I'm surprised it's so low, but it should be at least 35,000, because it's going to take more to get that thing, to get this going the way you want it to. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Commissioners, I'm open to a brief discussion. We are running out of time, so I will entertain a couple different options here.
Real quick, just a couple of comments. So, number one, I think that, as she said, there's been a number of organizations downtown in the past. This is the first one that's really stuck. I think we're almost at a crossroads now. We've gone from full volunteer to putting, an executive director in charge. And the other thing is, we've got to truly look at the full area that this RDC serves. So yes, I understand this is the heart of Lebanon, but we've heard multiple people tell us how important placemaking is in bringing our business park together. When you look at pulling people into those jobs, it used to be people would find a job and they would move wherever it was. Well, that's on its head now. Younger individuals and really a lot of different people are finding somewhere that they want to live, and then they'll find a job. So organizations like this truly are important to keeping a downtown vibrant, keeping a city vibrant, and keeping our business park healthy. The last thing, and I do have to disclaim, this is my opinion and not that of my employer, but I believe 2020 is going to be a challenging year. When you look at nonprofits, I think it's going to be a challenge to raise money. I think there's going to be some volatility in the markets, and I think a little bit of extra help in 2020 may not be a bad thing for a nonprofit that is very beneficial to our TIF area.
Thank you, Corey. Any additional discussions? I'm really open to motions if we need to table this or if we want to vote on it. I'm open to the discussion or motions. Commissioners?
I would kind of make a motion, we table this to the next meeting. Give us time to think about it some more. It could go either direction, 25 or 35. We could split the difference too.
Sure.
I don't know. What, Tanya's got something to say.
I'm saying this not as somebody up here as a clerk treasurer, but the last 3 years, we've asked, Bob Taylor knows this, the ones that have been on the board know this, that we have asked them to try and get their own funding. I have a receptionist in my office that makes $35,000, so when I look at this, and I love the events downtown, don't get me wrong, but we've asked them to fund, to come up with their own funding for years now. So they were going to do that, and then we did the downtown construction, so we threw in money for the last 2 years, which I understand why, but I'm just saying, when I look at this as a whole, and I see 25,000, I didn't even know who the executive director was until tonight, but that seems like a lot of money for a part-time position when, yes, we get benefits, and that's not a part of what you're doing, but I think, me personally, there needs to be some discussion on, we've asked them to do this year after year, and that's not what we're saying now.
If I can just speak just a minute, coming up with the figure of 35,000, we did some benchmarking with other communities. We looked at Frankfurt, we looked at Danville, we looked at Franklin, and we looked at Noblesville. All those communities are funded year after year, and they are set at a level. I know another receptionist well, but what the Heart of Lebanon does in organizations with that downtown caliber, we saw Mr. Schomburg, Jay and JD were here. I can't help but think that a part of their attraction was the events and things that go downtown. Rachel, we hear her speak about a business attraction, and a lot of the pictures they use to highlight Lebanon, they come from Heart of Lebanon events. And so some of those businesses, the new home starts, if you talk to those from Arbor Homes, Ryan Homes, others potentially happening near the school, if you ask them what played a part, you can't help but think a little sprinkling happened with the help of the events and things that are going on downtown. There's a buzz And if we want to be like, an organization or a town and a city that continues to grow and thrive, maybe something to think about along those lines. We're looking to neighbors to the north, south, east, west, all those that have a pretty good thing going on. Is something that they think about year after year, and it's part of the budget. It's part of the budget, to be quite frank.
All right, thank you, Joe. We are well past our allotted time. We currently have a motion to table this. I'm going to second that motion. I feel like we need to think about this a little more and give this discussion a little more what it's worth, I would say. We can bring this up to the next meeting and vote on this again. So there's a motion to table this. There's a second. Any further discussion? All in favor to table this, vote aye. Aye. All opposed?
Aye.
Let the motion show that it passed. One opposing. Thank you. We are going to table this until next month. Thank you, Missy. The final item is claims from last month. Have all the commissioners received a copy of the claims?
Yes.
Yes. I will entertain a motion to...
Move we pay our bills?
I second that. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. And I will motion
I make a motion we adjourn?
Yes, please. And I will second that. Thank you. All in favor, say aye. 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 Thank you. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you, guys.
I need signatures from Steve.
I think you